Do you watch English shows but still struggle to understand fast speech or slangs? What if binge watching could actually boost your fluency? Welcome back to the Duo Dialogues, your podcast to smarter real-world English. Today we turn your screen time into study time. Learn how to use subtitles, mimic actors, and make your favorite shows your new English teacher. Let's begin.
Today on the Deep Dive, we're looking into how you can strategically use English movies and TV shows to really boost your fluency.
Yeah, it's a popular idea, but how do you actually do it effectively?
Exactly. So we've gathered insights from language learning blogs, expert opinions, the works, to bring you some actionable ways to level up your vocabulary, pronunciation, and just your general feel for natural English.
And what's really interesting, if you look at language acquisition stuff, is how our brains link language with context, visuals, emotions.
Right.
Movies and TV just serve that up perfectly. You get real-life phrases, slang, idioms, the stuff textbooks often, skip.
Totally. It's one thing reading a word's definition, but seeing a character use it in a situation with their body language, that sticks.
It really does.
And pronunciation guides often mention this too. It's fantastic practice for hearing and mimicking native speaker sounds and that sort of musicality, the intonation. Way more engaging than just memorizing lists.
Well, it ties into immersion, doesn't it? Which we know is super effective. Obviously, not everyone can just move to an English-speaking country.
Right, that's not always practical.
So movies and TV offer this kind of virtual immersion. It's a really valuable substitute, according to quite a few studies.
Okay, so immersion sounds great, but the sheer amount of content out there, it's overwhelming. Where should you start?
Good question. The common advice, from language teaching methods is to begin with genres heavy on everyday conversation.
Like what, specifically?
Think sitcoms, maybe dramas, romantic comedies, stuff where people are just talking.
Yeah.
And initially, maybe pick shows known for, let's say, simpler dialogue. Friends comes up a lot.
Ah, Friends. Makes sense. Clear speech, relatable situations.
Exactly.
What about others? Like Modern Family. Lots of family talk there. Or even something like The Office or Brooklyn Nine-Nine. They show different ways people talk, right?
Yeah.
Like workplace chat versus casual chat. Different registers.
Yes, perfect examples. Those showcase different levels of formality really well. Now, how you watch is just as important as what you watch.
Okay.
Which brings us to subtitles. Always a hot topic in the learning forums.
Ah, yes, subtitles. The big debate.
Yeah.
Are they helping you learn or just letting you cheat? Friend or foe?
Well, research suggests they can be a really useful tool, but you've got to be smart about it.
How so?
There's a kind of step-by-step approach that works well. First time watching, maybe use English subtitles. Just get the story, the main points.
Okay, English subs first. Got it.
Then try watching it again, but this time, no subtitles at all. See how much you catch just by listening.
Right. Test yourself.
And then the third step, go back to the tricky parts, the bits you missed. Put the English subtitles back on just for those sections. Pause, figure out why it was hard, maybe repeat the phrase out loud a few times.
That makes a lot of sense. It's like gradual release, active listening, not just reading along passively. Okay, what about this shadowing technique I hear about? Sounds active.
Oh, it is very active. Shadowing is great because it really gets your mouth and ears working together. You listen to a line of dialogue, you pause it, and then you immediately repeat it out loud. The key is trying to copy everything. The actor's exact pronunciation, the stress on words, the rhythm, the intonation, the tone.
So you're basically becoming a vocal parrot.
In a way, yes. A very focused parrot.
Where would you even start with that? Seems like it could be tricky.
You could start small. Pick a short scene you like, or maybe even as a few famous lines from a movie. Really listen, then try to deliver it exactly the same way. It trains your muscles and your ear for those natural patterns.
Okay, active watching, active speaking with shadowing. What about all the new words and phrases you're bound to hear?
Good point. That's where effective vocabulary building comes in. Language experts often recommend keeping like a dedicated notebook.
Okay, a vocab notebook.
Yeah, jot down new words, cool expressions, phrasal verbs, idioms, whatever you notice. And this is crucial, don't just write them down. You have to actively try to use them, slip them into your own conversations, your writing, whatever. That's how they really stick.
Right, it's about activating the language, not just collecting it. Okay, before we finish up, any common traps people fall into? Mistakes to avoid?
Definitely. A big one is just passive viewing. Having the show on, but you're scrolling your phone or thinking about dinner. You need focused attention.
Makes sense. What else?
Neglecting the pronunciation practice. Just listening isn't enough. You've got to try making the sounds yourself, like with shadowing. And finally, picking stuff that's way too hard.
Yeah, that can be really discouraging.
Totally. Aim for shows or movies where you understand maybe 70–80% already, enough to follow along, but still challenging.
Great advice. So for your challenge this week, pick one episode of an English show you enjoy. Really try these techniques. And specifically, try shadowing maybe 5 sentences. Just give it a go.
So thinking about all that, what feels like the most practical first step for someone listening?
Good question. I think maybe that step-by-step subtitle strategy, it feels really clear and manageable, a solid way to start engaging more actively.
I agree. It builds confidence without being overwhelming. It's a great bridge to truly listening.
Well, that just about wraps up this deep dive. Thanks so much for tuning in.
My pleasure. Just remember, consistency is key. Little bits of focused effort add up.
Absolutely. And if you found this helpful, definitely stay tuned for our next deep dive. We'll be tackling storytelling in English, looking at engaging techniques to make your narratives really pop with expression and style.
Sounds fascinating.
We'll catch you next time for more insights.